American battery metals, global battery metals, Sunhydrogen stocks updates. So we'll begin with American battery metals. American battery metals closes session of the 6th of April 2021 at $1.60, down 1.23%. 1.8 million shares crossed the tape. We have a position in American battery metals. So moving on, we can see that it has a market cap of $843.9 million, 527.465 million shares outstanding. And of late, you must have also heard that it's issued or rather made changes, or rather filed some statements of changes in beneficial ownerships for Batstone, David Bruce, Melsert, Ryan Mitchell, William John Hunter, and the list goes on. MACLELLAN, Douglas, Cole Douglas, So you can see that. You'll see the links to these disclosures in the description box below. So moving down, we can see that it seems the unbalanced volume indicator has been moving sideways a bit. MACD histogram seems to it's not above zero. MACD is, I think, slightly merged with the signal line, and it seems is also slightly bullish as well. But all in all, it says American battery metals appears to be in a strong bullish trend. Its 200-day moving average is upward sloping, and the MACD histogram is above zero and rising. Comparative relative strength analysis shows it is lagging the S&P 500. So it says it appears to be strongly bullish. Maybe because over the last 10 trading sessions, it has traded above. Traded above the last the 10th trading figure, going all the way back. Maybe that is why they are saying that, but it's pretty much moving sideways. Momentum for American battery metals is improving. The 14-period slope stochastic oscillator is rising as investors begin to purchase shares. Okay, we can see that it's slightly tipped up. Okay, so the unbalanced volume indicator is bearish. The slope of the indicator is negative and suggests that there is a lack of buying interest. And the volume for the last trading session was, as we indicated, 1.84 million shares versus an average of 5.91 million shares. It was a lighter day during that session, but all in all, we can see it is just trading in between its short-term trend lines, but also way below its intermediate trend line. So indeed, over the intermediate period, it's presenting a very good buying opportunity. So if you to some extent, yes, it's still a good buy, but at the same time as well, the fundamentals, based on some of the due diligence that was done by certain short traders, well-known research firms who do their own due diligence. They are quite skeptical about American battery metals. They're saying they have not come through with a lot of their promises. And their warning is that mining stocks like American battery metals always have this history of being quite dodgy and all that stuff. So aside that, in the short term, or rather in the intermediate term, it's still very much a good buy. But I can only say that our price target is not going to be anything more than the $1.85, which is currently where its 20-day trend line, or slightly above its 20-day trend line currently. So that's our target, $1.85. We don't expect to see more than that during this month of April 2021. We don't expect to see American battery metals rise above $1.85 during this coming session. This is owing to the fact that a lot of short sellers have noticed that some of these stocks, and including American battery metals, is of great interest to a lot of recent market participants. So they are there causing a lot of trouble. So I don't think it's going to rise beyond $1.85 during this month of April 2021. So this takes us now to global battery metals. Global battery metals closed that session at $0.2939, up 2.78%, and 183,800 shares crossed the tape, which is below average. We have a position in global battery metals. You can see it has a market cap of $20.3 million, 46.349 million shares outstanding. So moving down, we can see that to some extent it also just looks very much like American battery metals. The chart, you can see that, just some sort of a replica. You can see that just the prices merged with or has coincided with its 10-day trend line, and then trading at a discount to its 50-day trend line. Just the same, very much the same. You can see it seems also that the unbalanced volume indicator may be negative, the slope may be negative as well, and in this case the 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is oversold, but it seems it's also trying to rise, and it says global battery metals appears to be in a strong bullish trend, just like American battery metals. Its 200-day moving average is upward sloping, and the MACD histogram is above zero. Did we see that? Above zero? Okay, we didn't see that. Its 200-day moving average is upward sloping, and the MACD histogram is above zero and rising. Comparative relative strength analysis shows it's lagging the S&P 500. Okay, the momentum for global battery metals is strongly bearish. Okay, yes, the 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is below 20 as we indicated, the level which many analysts call oversold. This means that investors have been actively selling shares and driving the price lower. The volume for that day was lighter than usual, trading 183,825 shares versus an average of 355,175 shares per day. The unbalanced volume indicator shows that long-term accumulation has given way to near-term selling pressure by traders. So all in all, very much the same. It's very much the same. Our price target is that it's not going to trade more than its 20-day trend line as well, which is that 20-day trend line stands at $0.35. So that's where we're maintaining it. It's not, we don't expect to see it trade above $0.35 during this month of April. So easily, yes, it's very much a buy technically in the intermediate term. So yes, but we don't have all the fundamentals concerning global battery metals. So we just quickly move on to the Sunhydrogen. Sunhydrogen closed that session at 0.1179, up 3.83%, 13.2 million shares across the tape, which is below average. We also have a position there, and it has a market cap of $391.4 million, 3.321 billion shares are outstanding. And of late, we have a recent academic disclosure and a recent academic publication that gave some credence, somewhat remote credence to the technology of Sunhydrogen. They were able to enrich the photosynthesis or the production of hydrogen from water, and also but in any case that was wastewater, and usually wastewater contains a lot of medical compounds. So their process was able to negate the presence of the medical impurities and enriched the production of hydrogen. So this is to some remote extent, a credence to the technology of Sunhydrogen, its Gen 1 and Gen 2 technology, and indeed the folks in the academic sphere indeed use nanotechnology to ensure that enrichment. So, and Sunhydrogen's Gen 2 is mostly about nanotechnology, and indeed you can see from this publication here, it says here, this is all the way back to the 30th of March. It says Sunhydrogen retains redox to support the design and production of the essential Gen 2 materials. So this is in Redox is just an additional company that they are involved in to help them in the mass production of the Gen 2 and all that stuff. So they're indeed also gone ahead with Schmid. Schmid is going to help get the mass production done. And also it says, I think what it says here, Sunhydrogen Inc. They develop of a breakthrough technology to produce renewable hydrogen using sunlight and water. Today announced the US company in Redox will work on producing material components needed for Gen 2 manufacturing development. So yes, so this in Redox will produce material components, and these material components are the components that will be needed by Schmid to go ahead and produce the I believe some other manufacturing component or some other. It's just going to involve the two companies will be involved in helping Sunhydrogen achieve its production capabilities and all that stuff. So that's some positive. You definitely know about that already. So moving down, we can see that the momentum has started to wane a bit, and the MACD is also just slightly above the signal line. It says Sunhydrogen appears to be consolidating within a longer term uptrend. Let's have a look. It's consolidating within a longer term uptrend. Yes, no doubt about that. It's just moving quite cyclical here a bit, up and down and all that, up and down of late based on this daily model. But the longer term trend line, which is this 200-day trend line, is still bullish. All the other ones, or rather the 50-day trend line, is bearish at the moment, but the 20-day and the 10-day trend line are still very much bullish. It says the average directional index, or ADX, is below 20, indicating that shares have traded sideways recently. However, the 200-day is still sloping bullishly upwards. Comparative relative strength analysis shows it's lagging the S&P 500. So the momentum for Sunhydrogen strongly bearish. Okay, we showed you that. The 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is falling indeed as investors sell shares and drive the price lower. The volume for that session, that is the 6th of April 2021, was lighter than usual, trading 13.204 million shares versus an average of 36 million shares per day during the last 12 months. The unbalanced volume indicator is bearish. The slope of the indicator is negative and suggests that there is a lack of buying interest. So the momentum is poor. The volume is also not as good as it was before. So technically, amongst other things, it is consolidating, moving sideways. Things are getting a bit quiet, and also it closed up 3.38%. So it's even with all of that, I can still tell you that it's still a very strong buy. Anytime, any day, fundamentals are right. Keep piling, keep adding, and keep doing so. This is a stock to own for the long term. Right now, it's a bit quiet now. Get buying. So because there's a lot of activity, involvement of short sellers, indeed we're not very strong or very optimistic that the stock is going to skyrocket beyond its 50-day trend line, which stands at $0.15. So that's our target. Our maximum target is it's not going to go beyond $0.15 during this month of April. So yes, so if you're new to this channel, subscribe, like, and share. If you're already a subscriber, thank you very much for watching this video.